And the recording is started, Councillor Heron.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon and welcome to Decision Days of myself, the Executive Lead Member for Children's Services, as well as the Executive Member for Education. These Decision Days are being broadcast in one session live on YouTube and via the County Council website. Good afternoon, everyone. We will go straight into the agenda, and the first item is deputations. None have been received. So we move into item 1 on the agenda, which is the Children's Services Procurement Approval to Spend. And Alison, I think you're going to introduce this one for me.
Is it Suzanne?
Yeah, Alison's here in case of any questions.
Okay.
I can introduce the paper. So in accordance with the County Council's scheme of delegation, we must seek formal approval from the lead member for spend over certain thresholds, over £2 million. This contract over its lifetime may exceed that. We've gone through a fully compliant procurement process, and we, in your briefing, we took you through the finer detail of the services being procured, and there have been no changes to the paper since your briefing. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, and thank you very much for my briefing this morning on more details on the service. So with that, I've not got any indication. No, Jackie, you just wanted to say a few words.
I did, thank you. And this is always a good news story to be handing money out, and I appreciate that very much. But obviously now it's a procurement process which is more regulated in that way. In this way, it's going to be harder for local councillors to see the range of services that will be offered in their local area. But more importantly, go out and look at these services and talk to people that are benefiting from them, and to the service providers themselves. So what I am seeking as a result of this is to ensure that if there are services within local councillors' areas, that is listed, and contact details of how to get to them are also listed, so that we can genuinely see if we are reaching the right people, not just numerically, but anecdotally as well.
I don't know if any officers want to comment on that. I think I'm certainly encouraged to have members understand what is available and the providers. It might be that we don't want to list their contact details directly and have them. It might be we ask members to go through council officers if they want to get some more information. Steve, did I see you pop your hand up there? Or?
I just had my hand in an unnatural position. Sorry.
I'll come in if I may, Councillor Heron. I think it's a sensible proposal, and I would suggest that the programme pulls together a district by district basis of on what resources there are, what we've commissioned, and the outcomes we're looking for. Members can then access that via Alison and her team as they wish.
Excellent. Okay, Jackie.
Thank you. Schools do worry about how they, what they know in their local area, and we as councillors have got a job to do to make sure they do know, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I go to the recommendation, I will just say I was fortunate to have a briefing this morning on the Supporting Families programme, and it was fantastic to hear the work that we are doing and the change that we are sustaining through that work, and the difference that makes to the lives of our young people and their wider families. So absolutely excellent programme, and with that I am more than happy to agree the recommendation at 3. I think after that brings me to the conclusion of the items for my decision day today. So with that, I will hand over to Councillor Forster. Steve, over to you.
Edward, thank you very much. 4 minutes must be almost a record, I suspect. We've got 4 items on my decision day, so thank you very much. We'll start with any deputations. I don't believe we have any deputations. There's none that's been notified to me. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Councillor Forster.
Super. Thank you very much. On that basis, we've got four decisions to progress with. The first one is around specialist education needs. and provision thereof. And I believe this is Sarah Carey who's going to be presenting this.
Me, Steve, if I may introduce it. So Sarah, again, rather like the last item, is here to answer any detailed questions. So in a sense, this is basically setting out a schedule of formal consultation on 3 proposals. One is the creation of a new resource provision at Guillemont. One is changing the designation of an existing resource provision at Moorlands, and one is changing the location of an existing resource provision from Wallasdean to St Jude's. So this is just the start of the process whereby we publish the public notice, and then we would bring back the outcomes of that public consultation back to you for decision at a later date. So it's the formal consultation process.
Thank you very much, Brian. That's appreciated. I believe you didn't have a point directly on this, but related to it, Councillor Porter, that you wanted to mention.
Yes, I did actually, and thank you for allowing me to speak. These smaller units of resource provision are going to be, are actually growing in number right across the whole county. And we are aware that they are quite specialist provision in some cases and not in others. And I thought it would be useful as a member of the Select Committee if we formally request that we receive some sort of information about this so that we can see the growing range of resources that there are across the district, across the county, and how that fits in with other services that we provide, and also whether we should, as we build new schools, consider always including specialist provision space, even if we don't necessarily know what it's going to be for at any point in time. So I'd just like to request that formally, and also support absolutely the provision that's actually raised in this paper.
Councillor Porter, thank you, Jackie, for raising that. That's certainly very much central to the way that the county works. I will make sure that that is fed back, and our officers do consider that. It's much appreciated. On that basis, I
think Steve Crocker has got his hand up now. I think this is
sorry, I didn't see that.
So, yeah, well, I wasn't waving my hand about this time, but I actually, I'm bringing up, it's because I'm more visible. Brian actually wanted to come in at this point.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, Councillor Porter. I think it's a good idea. Annually, we bring a report to Select on the performance of special educational needs right across the piece. It's quite a comprehensive report we bring. We are just doing a piece of work, concluding it, on sufficiency strategy. And that work obviously needs to detail all the existing special schools, all the existing resource provisions, all the outreach we've got actually from special schools as well. And it'll be setting out in detail what the need is over the period 2023 to 2027 for new provision. So I think it would be good next time we report on special educational needs, which is usually early in the autumn term, to incorporate all that detail so that members have got an overview. I think you're right.
And
Brian,
also,
that's super. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Richard Vaughan, I think you've got your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Foster. It was just to confirm that all new schools have a resource provision allocation within them, Councillor Porter. So we make an allowance for it, even if we don't know what the provision is going to be.
Okay, that's fine, and I'm sure we can pursue that at the Select Committee. So,
thank you.
Really value those. On that basis, I'd like to proceed to the recommendations. We've got recommendations relating to 3 points, as detailed on page 11, relating to Guillemont, Moorlands, and Wallasdean Julian School. I'd like to approve those recommendations that we proceed for statutory public notices as proposed. So that is approved as shown. Thank you. That concludes that item. We'll move on to the next item, item 3. Now I've got that one showing as John. Is that John or is that Brian again?
I can introduce the next two, Councillor Forster.
Thank you. Please go ahead, John.
Okay, thank you. So the first item I'm bringing today is the works at Wyvern College in terms of external works. The scope of the project is as outlined at Chairman's briefing. We are today seeking spend approval for the project proposals to enhance the safety and security of the school site at a total cost of £794,000. The project is included in the Children's Services Capital Programme that was approved in January 23. The works comprise of the installation of a secure fence to the school frontage with both manual and automated vehicular gates. As part of those proposals, 9 parking spaces will be relocated within the existing school car park, and with the site being shared with the Fair Oak Infant and Junior School, an additional footpath to facilitate drop-off and pick-up of those children is also to be constructed. Planning consent was approved in July last year, and the works are planned to start on site in May and complete during the summer term.
John, that's super, very succinct, and it's good to see that we're putting in that new footpath, which will certainly make it easier for parents and for active travel. I've not been told anyone wants to speak unless that's been updated, so I'll proceed straight to the recommendation. Recommendation 2, that we give approval to the project proposals for Wyvern College at a total cost of £794,000. As shown, that is fully approved. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, again, your next item, John, which is on Little Dears Nursery in Burley.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Foster. So again, the scope of this is as outlined at Chairman's briefing. We are seeking spend approval for the project proposals at Little Dears Nursery Burley at a total cost of £700,000. The project is also included in the Children's Services Capital Programme approved in January 23. The project comprises of the demolition of the existing building and the construction of a new 26-place nursery and preschool building with its own designated car parking. The works are required due to the age and condition of the existing facility, which is no longer fit for purpose. The works are looking to be procured through a design and build construction route. So once we have a contractor on board, they will develop the design proposals alongside the property services team, and a planning application will be submitted in the autumn of this year. And the works are anticipated to commence tail end of this year, early 24, with the new building completing for the summer of 24. We did mention one subtle adjustment to the paper that we presented last time. We'd made reference to consultation with local residents, which we haven't yet done due to the planning process being later in the programme, but we had consulted the parents of Little Dears, and we've created the report to say that.
John, thank you. It's good to see that we're doing that, and I'm sure the consultation will be very supportive, because it's always good to see an older building that is probably an expensive one to run, replaced by something new and totally fit for purpose. So I'm sure the community will be most supportive, or at least I'm hopeful the community will be most supportive.
Sure.
I'll move to the recommendation unless anyone has anything that they wish to raise. If you do, please show your hand. No? Okay, we'll move to the recommendation, which is to grant spend approval to the project proposals for the replacement building at Little Dears Nursery at a total cost of £700,000, and that is approved. Last one for today is item 5. And I believe this one is one again for Brian.
It is. So every subject is part of the national curriculum apart from RE, and still local authorities have a statutory responsibility to produce an RE curriculum and to ensure the quality of provision of RE is of a high quality in the schools. So we have an organisation called SACRE, which brings together all the different faiths across Hampshire to produce that syllabus. This is an annual report that SACRE received earlier in the year in November 2022, and you will see the contents of that report. So this is for you to note as executive lead member about the work of SACRE during the course of the 21-22 academic year.
Thank you, Brian. This one spans the former cabinet member Ros Chad and myself, but I welcome the update that I had in the briefing on SACRE, which was most informative. It's good to see us doing this on religious education. Again, if no one has any queries, I will move straight to the recommendation. The recommendation being that it's noted, and I duly note the report as detailed. So thank you very much for that. I think that brings the decision day to a close. I'd like to thank all those officers and members present for their input. On that basis, can we please end the recording? Adam, if you could confirm when that's done.
Yep, I confirm as soon as